college apps will mess with your head if you let them. The deadlines.
If you don't believe in yourself, then who do you think will? That is the single most important thing that you have to keep in mind.
If you're applying to college and feeling really stressed, just know that I have a twin brother and we both applied to Indiana.
The US college system literally cannot be this stressful. Like, I'm a junior applying to college right now, and so many of my friends are saying how stressed they are about applying to college. And I guess maybe we have worked the last 4 years of our lives trying to build up extracurriculars, taking the SAT and getting good grades, but going to college and the application process in the US is not nearly as competitive or not nearly as stressful as it is in other countries. In the US, most of your high school, and maybe some of you guys starting in middle school, you start preparing for college either through extracurriculars you're starting, like some sports or some instruments, but most of us just spend the last 2 to 3 years of high school preparing for college. I guess what I'm trying to point at is that there's no national level entry college exam like there is in a lot of other countries. And although you might think that there is the SAT and ACT, well, those are nearly as equivalent to the Chinese Gaokao. Or in India, they have multiple different types of national level tests, and also in Korea too. And I believe the UK also does place emphasis on standardized testing, so the United States might literally just be the lowest emphasis on standardized testing there is in the world. And all this to say, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, because so many of these countries around the world that do have such an emphasis on standardized testing, all of these students are not being tested about how smart they are, but rather how much they can cram information. You see, the SAT in the US specifically was designed during the space race and was to help students to test how smart they are in order to get into college. Now, the SAT today has evolved into how much can you prepare, how much time can you spend, and how many practice tests can you take before the actual exam to get a better score that looks better for colleges. So it's not about actually testing how intelligent someone is, because back in the day, it was to test the SAT was to test how intelligent you are, and then your grades would show how hard you work. So as students in the United States, we shouldn't feel that stressed for college applications, because people in China, for example, they literally spend 12 years of their lives preparing for one exam. And for example, on that exam, if you miss one question, the gap between you and the person that got one extra point than you is literally like 10,000 students in between you guys. That's how crazy it is. Moreover, in the United States, undergraduate doesn't actually matter that much compared to the education you're getting afterward. So for example, if you get into not as good as an undergraduate college, you can still work hard at that college and then transfer out. So many community colleges have transfer out programs into the UC system or other privates. I'm tired of hearing how stressful the college application season is in the United States. It's literally a breeze in the park. And we should just be thankful and be ready to present ourselves for all that we've accomplished. Because the United States has an amazing system where we're able to grade each other, not just by a score, but rather it's a community effort. That's why there's so much emphasis on essays and extracurriculars, because they want to find out more about you and who you are as a character. And I think that's a lot more meaningful than just a score. And so the last thing I want to emphasize is, at the end of the day, it's just undergrad, right? The content you learn at Harvard versus the content you're going to learn at a community college, it's going to be the same, but it's just depending on the network and the community that you want to be around. So stop prioritizing the name of the college that you're applying to, but rather, what do you actually want to get out of it? And so when people don't get to the college of their dreams, I think they have to evaluate, is it really their dream that they're chasing, or is it just a name brand college? So yeah, the application and decisions should really not be that stressful. I mean, we have our whole lives ahead of us. It's not just an undergraduate college. So let's try to change this social taboo. And if you found this interesting, please let me know your opinions down in the comments.